It was supposed to be a routine patrol, calm seas, steady skies. But somewhere over the Pacific, everything changed. Just days ago, while operating in international waters, the USS Carl Vinson, one of America's most powerful nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, encountered something unexpected. A Russian reconnaissance aircraft flying low and fast toward its position. The contact set off a series of reactions that unfolded in seconds. The radar first picked up the contact at a distance, but it quickly closed in. The Russian aircraft, believed to be a Tu-142 or an Il-38, both used for maritime surveillance, didn't respond to hails. It was on a path that would bring it uncomfortably close to the carrier's airspace. The Vinson's Combat Information Center lit up. FA-18 Super Hornets were launched within minutes to intercept. The Russian aircraft continued its approach, flying within a few miles of the carrier group before turning away at the last moment. It was a clear show of force, a reminder. According to US Navy officials, this was one of the closest and most deliberate flybys by a Russian aircraft near a US carrier in recent years. This wasn't the first time Russian aircraft had pushed boundaries with US forces. In July 2023, over Syria, a Russian Su-35 fighter closed in on a US MQ-9 Reaper drone. The Russian jet dropped parachute flares in its flight path, forcing the American drone operator to take evasive action. One Russian pilot even positioned their aircraft directly in front of the MQ-9 and engaged afterwards, disrupting the Reaper's flight. US officials described it as reckless and unprofessional, part of a growing pattern of confrontational aerial behavior. And there's more. On May 26, 2020, over the Mediterranean Sea, two Russian Su-35 fighter aircraft unsafely intercepted a US Navy P-8A Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft. The Russian pilots flew dangerously close on each wing of the P-8A, severely limiting its ability to maneuver. The intercept lasted a total of 64 minutes. According to US 6th Fleet, these actions violated international norms and were deemed unprofessional and unsafe. The incident reflected a persistent risk for US surveillance flights even far from active war zones. Such actions, whether over Syria, the Mediterranean, or the Pacific, reflect a broader trend. Russia is actively probing US military responses, both to test limits and send political messages. The USS Carl Vinson isn't just a ship, it's a city of steel armed to the teeth. With over 5,000 personnel on board and dozens of aircraft on its flight deck, it represents unmatched power projection. When the flyby occurred, the Vinson was conducting air operations as part of a Pacific readiness patrol. Alongside its carrier air wing, it was escorted by at least two Arleigh Burke-class destroyers and a Ticonderoga-class cruiser. The strike group was fully armed, equipped with Aegis combat systems, SM-2 and SM-6 interceptors, and electronic warfare suites. One officer on board reportedly called the moment tense but controlled, because even in a moment of provocation, the Vinson doesn't flinch. The FA-18 Super Hornet, scrambled from the Vinson, responded in less than 5 minutes. Their mission, to visually identify, shatter, and if necessary, steady speed, not armed, but not backing off either. The Intercept was professional, but the intent behind the Russian maneuver remained unclear. Electronic warfare systems Once the aircraft veered off, the jets returned to the carrier, their job done, but their adrenaline still high. And with heightened activity in the Indo-Pacific, some analysts believe the flyby was a test, not just of radar range, but of U.S. response discipline. The Vinson's crew an escalation mode, with a method of observers know that similar flybys had occurred in the past, especially in the Black Sea and the Baltic. But seeing this kind of behavior in the Pacific signals a broader strategic intent by Russia to project reach and It's typically accompanied by a powerful carrier strike group that includes ships like the USS Princeton, a Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruiser specializing in air and missile defense. Alongside it are Arleigh Burke-class destroyers such as the USS Kidd or USS William P. Lawrence, equipped with Aegis radar and capable of launching Tomahawk missiles. These ships create a protective shield around the carrier, offering surface, subsurface, and air defense. Together, they form a mobile fortress, one that can operate independently for extended periods, project power across thousands of miles, and respond to threats anywhere in the world. For the sailors and aviators aboard, it wasn't just another day at sea. These are men and women who live under constant alert. Every contact on radar could be real. Every launch order could be the start of something serious. In the days following the flyby, onboard training intensified. Crews revisited intercept protocols. Air defense drills were updated. No one wanted to be caught off guard, not after such a close encounter. It's not just about machines and strategy. It's about people ready to respond at a moment's notice. For the sailors and aviators aboard, this wasn't just a drill. It was a stark reminder that the calm can shift in an instant. The Vinson's mission, deterrence and readiness, isn't theoretical. It's real. Every takeoff, every radar contact, every intercept is now under scrutiny. And while no weapons were fired, the flyby carried weight. These aren't Cold War games anymore. This is the 21st century, and great power tensions are alive and flying low. What do you think? Should the U.S. respond more forcefully to these aerial provocations? Or is restraint the smarter path? Let us know in the comments, and if you value defense updates like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for what's next on the front lines. Thanks for watching, and for supporting content that brings real-world naval operations and global tensions into focus. We'll keep tracking events from the sea, the sky, and beyond, so you never miss what's unfolding behind the headlines. Until next time, stay sharp, stay informed, and stay safe.